This is Dawn Warren for Philosophy 160, presentation number 3, an examination of one of the readings. I chose the John Bramann article, Marx, Capitalism, and Alienation. The main argument for this reading is that capitalism limits people's ability to fully recognize themselves as human beings, and that it needs to be abolished because it limits their ability to lead fulfilling lives. The main points for this article are based off of Marx's economic and philosophical manuscripts of 1844, and it outlines the 4 types of alienation that capitalism causes. And they are alienation from the process of work, which means the worker is replaceable. Alienation from the product, they don't own the means and they don't own what they make. Alienation from others, which causes competition in their relationship with coworkers and other people in general. And alienation from their own human nature, and that's because they find no value in their work, their products, or their relationships with others, so they have no value in themselves. They're demoralized and separate. It's supported using Marx's work, the economic and philosophical manuscripts, and it references the Industrial Revolution and how people used to be literally chained to the machine they were working on, so they were literally an extension of the machine. And how mass production and mindless factory work have created an alienized world. People do not find value in the products they're making, and yet they become dependent on them, and they are foreign from themselves. So they feel alienized from their work, from their products, from other people around them. They don't own any of it, so none of it's of value to them. Bramann made a comparison to artists or individual businesses, how they lead much fuller lives because of the value they find in their process. They might work longer hours in worse conditions because the product that they make is theirs. They find value in what they do. They find value in their relationships with other people, and therefore they find value in themselves. The argument itself against capitalism and for the abolishment of it is pretty strong. It outlines very well the demoralizing effect it has on people and how capitalism creates an income gap, how the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, because if only certain people own all the means of wealth and the people who make it can't even afford to buy their own stuff, it shows pretty well how bad the system is set up. It's really strong because the points on alienation make sense. If you're replaceable, you don't find value in yourself or the product or your work or your relationships with others, it seems to make sense to try to change a system that would allow that. What it does lack, however, is an alternate idea to replace capitalism. And so that's something that you would want if we're going to try to abolish capitalism, is to have another system in place that would help support people to realize fuller lives. And that's it. So overall, this article made a really good argument against capitalism, but like I said, the only weak point of it was no alternate suggestion to replace capitalism.